Hello students, today in our lesson magnetism and magnetic effects of electric current, and this is going to be the session number 4. Today we are going to see the important topics: torque acting on a bar magnet in uniform magnetic field, potential energy of a bar magnet in a uniform magnetic field, tangent law, tangent galvanometer, and magnetic properties. Come, let's see what we have today. First of all, the torque experienced by a magnetic needle in a uniform magnetic field. Consider a magnet of length 2L of pole strength Qm kept in a uniform magnetic field B vector. Each pole experiences a force of magnitude Qmb but acts in opposite direction, and there is a translatory motion between them. See here, there is a force at Qm and there is a force at Qm minus Qmb. This force 1 to 1 experiences a dipole motion in 0, and this shows that the net force acting on the dipole is 0. It forms a couple which tends to rotate the bar magnet clockwise here in order to align it along the B vector. So we have to take another path to reach the next pole. The distance between the two poles are 2L. See the force experienced by the north pole. Let's see, first of all, the force experienced by the north pole, Fn vector is equal to Qmb, and the force experienced by the south pole, Fs vector is equal to minus Qmb vector. Now adding the equation 1 and 2, we get the net force acting on the dipole as F vector is equal to Fn plus Fs is equal to 0. This shows that the net force acting on the dipole is 0 again. Now the moment of force or torque experienced by the north and south pole, point O is tau vector, which is equal to On into Fn. What is meant by On? This is the O and to the N. This is On into the force at N, north pole, plus OS from origin to the midpoint O to S into Fs. Here it is Fs. Then the tau is equal to On vector into Qm. Already we have a Qm here, plus Qm here into On, and minus Qm, which is multiplied into the OS into minus Qm into B vector. By using right hand corkscrew rule, we conclude that the total torque is pointing into the paper. That means which is perpendicular to the paper. So we have, since the magnitudes On vector modulus is equal to Os vector modulus is equal to L, that means the length of the two poles S and N, and Qmb vector is equal to minus Qmb modulus, the magnitude of total torque about a point O. So tau is equal to L, we substitute L here instead of On, Qmb sin theta plus L here instead of Os into QMB sin theta. Therefore, already we have one L here and another Ln. So 2L, tau is equal to 2L into taking common as QMB sin theta. Already we know QM into 2L is equal to PM. Is it? So we substitute this PM instead of this 2L QM. So P tau is equal to PMB sin theta. And in vector notation, tau is equal to PM into B vector. Now, potential energy of a bar magnet in a uniform magnetic field, which is also same as which we saw earlier. Magnetic dipole moment of a bar magnet is Pm vector. Direction of uniform magnetic field is minus B, which is B vector, and at an angle theta. The magnitude of the torque acting on the dipole is tau B modulus is equal to Pm modulus vector into B modulus vector sin theta. Here in this picture we have two angles, one is theta and another one is theta dash. Same as it travels from north to south and south to north, so we have another torque value. If the dipole rotated through a very small angular displacement d theta against the torque tau B at constant angular velocity, then the work done by external torque tau external for this small angular displacement is given by, see, already we have a displacement theta. Now due to this second variation of things, we have another angle which is theta dash. dw is equal to tau external modulus is equal into d theta. The bar magnet has to be moved at constant angular velocity, which implies that dw is equal to Pmb sin theta into d theta. Therefore, the total work done in rotating the dipole from theta dash to theta, as I mentioned earlier, we have two angles here, one is theta and another one is theta dash. So work done is equal to integral theta dash to theta, first one is tau d theta, then integral theta dash to theta Pmb sin theta into d theta, substituting Pmb sin theta instead of tau and taking Pmb as a common. So we have integral sin theta d theta as minus cos theta d theta. Already we have the integral values from theta dash to theta. So while substituting the value, w is equal to minus Pmb cos theta minus cos theta dash. This work is done and which is stored as a potential energy in the bar magnet at an angle theta when it is rotated from theta dash to theta. This bar magnet is rotated from theta dash to theta, and it can be written as u is equal to minus Pmb cos theta minus cos theta dash, because it is stored as a potential energy. In fact, the equation gives the difference in potential energy between the angular positions theta dash and theta. If it is theta dash is equal to 90 degree, second term in the equation becomes 0 and the above equation can be written as u is equal to minus P mb cos theta. The potential energy stored in the bar magnet in a uniform magnetic field is given by u is equal to minus Pm into b. Let us take two cases. One is if theta is equal to 0 degree, then u is equal to minus Pmb cos 0 degree. Already you know cos 0 degree is 1, so minus Pm into b. If theta is equal to 180 degree, then U is equal to minus PMB cos 180 degree. Already you know cos 180 degree is equal to minus 1. Substituting this, we cancel this minus. So PMB. Now the potential energy of the bar magnet is minimum when it is aligned along the external magnetic field and maximum when the bar magnet is aligned anti-parallel to the external magnetic field. Now let's move to an important law named as the tangent law. We are going to use this tangent law for a very large purposes. Now let's move to tangent law. When a magnetic needle or a magnet is freely suspended in two mutually perpendicular uniform magnetic fields, it will come to rest in the direction of the resultant of the two fields. Let B be the magnetic field produced by passing current through the coil of the tangent galvanometer, and BH be the horizontal component of the Earth's magnetic field. Under the action of two magnetic fields, the needle comes to rest, making angle theta with BH, and it is such that B is equal to BH tan theta. Let's move to the tangent galvanometer. I think students, you know why these galvanometers are used in electrical experiments. Can anyone remember why it is used? Yeah, from the first lesson, you know galvanometers are used to measure the current in the circuit. The deflection is very important. While we have these galvanometers in experiments, we note the deflections in this through these galvanometers. Galvanometer is a device used to measure a very small currents. It is a moving magnet type galvanometer. It working is based on the tangent law. Let's move to the construction of this galvanometer. It consists of copper coil wounded on a magnetic circular vane. This copper coil is wounded on this frame. It is mounted vertically on a horizontal base table. That means a turntable. You can turn this table with three leveling screws, 1, 2 and another one the opposite direction. The tangent galvanometer is provided with two or more coils of different number of turns with different thickness and are used for measuring currents in different strengths. Here the coil is used throughout this. In Tamil we used to say, you can imagine this as a poo kudai. Okay, when you are carrying some flowers to a church, you can have it in a one basket type. This is a flower basket type galvanometer. At the center of turntable, a compass box is placed. Compass box consists of small magnetic needle which is pivoted at the center. Let me explain what you mean by this pivoted. Do you know anything about this pivoted? Yeah, which is sticked in the middle. Now a thin aluminium pointer is attached to the magnetic needle normally and moves over circular scale. This arrangement shows the center of both magnetic needle and the circular coil exactly coincide. Now the circular scale is divided into 4 quadrants and graduated in degrees. That means each quadrant consists of 90 degrees. In order to avoid parallax error in measurement, a mirror is placed below the aluminum pointer. Now let's move to the theory of this tangent galvanometer. When no current is passed through the coil, the small magnetic needle lies along the horizontal component of the Earth's magnetic field. When the circuit is switched on, the electric current will pass through the circular coil and produce magnetic fields like this from North Pole to South Pole. It will have an angle, that is BH, and this is B, magnetic field and magnetism. Now there are two fields which are acting mutually perpendicular to each other. They are the magnetic field B due to the electric current in the coil. Second one, the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field BH. Because of these crossed fields, now the pivoted magnetic needle deflects through an angle theta from the tangent law. Therefore, B is equal to BH into tan theta, which is termed as the equation number 1. This is the setup made for the tangent galvanometer experiment. Okay, this is a tangent galvanometer, and this is a high resistance, and this is a commutator, this is a rheostat, and this is a small voltmeter connected here, and this is a key. Dear students, do you know this is tangent galvanometer is one of our practical examination question. So read this question and try to listen the video carefully. When an electric current is passed through a circular coil of radius r having n number of turns, the magnitude of magnetic field at the center is V is equal to mu naught Ni divided by 2r. From the equation from equation 1 and equation 2 we get BH tan theta is equal to mu naught Ni divided by 2r. Let us have this as equation number 3. The horizontal component of the Earth's magnetic field can be determined as BH is equal to mu naught Ni divided by 2r into 1 by tan theta, which can be measured in Tesla. See, there are some precautions to be taken carefully while having this tangent galvanometer experiment. First one, all the nearby magnets and magnetic materials are kept away from the instrument, because this magnets or magnetic materials will deviate this small needle which is presented at the center. This will deviate this and we will get different values. Second one, using split level, the leveling screws at the base are adjusted so that the small magnetic needle is exactly horizontal, and also coil mounted on the frame is exactly vertical. You have to take care of this coils and this vertical section. The plane of the coil is kept parallel to the small magnetic needle by rotating the coil about its vertical axis. So the coil remains in magnetic meridian. This coil remains in magnetic meridian because we have a magnet here. The compass box, as shown in the figure, is rotated such that the pointer reads 0 degree to 0 degree. Here, from 0 degree to 0 degree, 0 degree to 0 degree. Thank you, students. Thank you for your support. Let me ask only one thing: study well and be prepared for the examinations.